Okay, we're gonna talk about a circle today. We're gonna talk about the circle of excellence, which is gonna be your tip for today. But also, we're gonna talk about the circle of belief. But also, this is the last day I'm gonna be going live like this, maybe indefinitely. I need to focus, and I need to be creating more content for you all. So yes, there's gonna be more videos, more recorded videos, but in terms of the live events, also we're actually changing the way we model our coaching business. Now you're gonna have to apply. So basically, and also what that does is it makes it so much easier for you and I, if you apply and are accepted, to work together exclusively rather than just accepting everybody. So if you are interested, again, this will be my last day today doing the live events for indefinitely, because like I said, I need to focus on the coaching and focusing on the influx of all the coaching people that are coming, which is exciting. Yeah, so I will be creating new content. I'll be creating the ebook of NLP techniques and all this kind of stuff. But you definitely want to join the Discord. That's free. You definitely want to consider joining the coaching programs. Those are not. But I definitely bring you value. If you've seen anything with these live events, I'm big on overdoing it, meaning I'd rather just give you so much, right? So this is gonna be the last one today, and why don't we talk about something that I think is so interesting? Is this is how beliefs operate, and I've done another one similar to this, so go check out that one on beliefs. But this one's gonna be a little bit different because I'm gonna give you more specifics. Whereas some of these videos that I do, the recorded ones, are general. These live events have been extremely specific, right? And very, very detailed and honed, and answering your questions and so on. One, because I want to give you a taste of what you get if you get me as a coach. The other thing is I believe in what I do, right? And I believe in the law, and I believe in compassion. And I believe in trying to understand this for you and for me. I mean, I want people to play with, right? I want people to, get this so good that we're all manifesting crazy stuff every day. And I believe we can. But this does come down to belief, okay? And remember, belief is not belief. And faith is not belief, and belief is not faith, and they never will be. One leads to the other, sure. And if you think of belief as a spectrum, as in there's a beginning and there's kind of an end, but a spectrum is always kind of continuous, right? Is that faith leads you to belief, but belief doesn't lead you to faith, right? And so when I said, and when I called this the circle of beliefs, what I'm talking about, what I'm exploring with you is this concept that, Neville uses the word state. Okay. And so a lot of people don't even know what that means. They're just like, oh, get into the state. What the hell does that mean? Well, again, he actually does define this. And he says, a state is a collection of your accepted beliefs. Things that, and I love this word. One of my favorite ways in which he explains this is the ideas that you, nobody else, you consent to. Okay. So there's a moment of consenting, right? There's a moment of, oh yeah, that makes sense to me. Right? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we accept things that make sense to us that is not good for us. Okay? And then it forms a belief, which forms a protective shell called the ego, which then forms and shapes our identity. Your identity and your ego are not the same. Okay? There's actually neuroscience research that shows that to be the case. Okay, so then what you want to realize is that when you accept certain beliefs, and these are big beliefs and small beliefs. So watch my video on macro beliefs and micro beliefs, because again, today's my last video. I will not be going live probably at least for a while. I mean, I will be, but in terms of what I'll be doing next, I will let you know. But to be kind of caught up and up to date, join the free Discord, right? Or join the coaching program, and I can let you know as well. Basically what we want to do is explore what Neville means by this circle, because he doesn't really say it's a circle of beliefs, but the best way, he says it's a body of beliefs. So the Apostle Paul in scripture says, I beat my body, right? Here's the thing. When we hear body, because we're so literal as Westerners, which, honestly, as somebody who's been in the academic, as in teaching in universities and stuff, one of the most frustrating languages I've ever come across is English. Like, English is so literal. It's an extremely boring language, right? And it's because we look at things so literally. And the whole Bible was not written by people who looked at life and read it literally. It was written by poets. It was written by musicians. It was written, this is why the whole book of Psalm, it even says, like, this is how you'd play it if you had this instrument. And so on, because they saw life as art, right? They didn't see life as this scientific, like, disavowal of everything, right? And it's not. Life isn't like, I need to be against this and I need to be against that, right? And we know that the more that you push against something, the more it shows up, right? And this is the same with beliefs, right? To believe that your beliefs are impacting you is the first and foremost, like, step one of waking up, right? As a manifester, to realize, okay, it's not my emotions, it's not my thoughts. Those are just arrows pointing to the beliefs that have impacted me. Okay, so for you, you might have this like great life, and then one day you're like, oh, I start feeling pain in my body. Why? Because maybe you had a memory of a family member dying of something, of an illness, and you can remember it and recall it. Remember, anything you can remember and recall is a powerful belief. This is very key, and I don't see anybody talking about this. I'm going to do a video on this, but anything that you can recall as a memory has made an indelible, which means a marked, right, a thing that you can point at, right, memory, which has created a identity, which Neville says that we need to edit day in and day out, right? And I'm going to do another video on how to do that. We're going to do that. So, because again, today's my last live. I'm not going live for a while unless I have a series coming out, right? And that's because I need to focus on the coaching program. So think about joining it. I would love to have you. Nice little community on these lives. And, you know, again, back to this idea of circle of beliefs. And I'm going to use an example from Reddit. Okay, so because I write a lot on Reddit, there was somebody who shared an article recently, last couple of days, and they talked about their SP. Right. And again, there's an epidemic of SP within the manifestation community, which means people are lonely. Because I mean, really, when you're in a state of, I want this person in my life, there's also a state of, there's like, I don't value myself because I need somebody else to help me feel valued. Right. And this is not a knock on anybody. Right. This is me trying to say, hey, you are the most valuable person you will ever meet, no matter who is sitting across from you at your dinner table. Right. It doesn't matter. You are. Right? They only matter because you make them matter. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with making them matter, but the reason behind why they matter is what matters. I know, very circular. But let me go back to this idea of this article and kind of unpack this with you, right? Hey, pardon, how you doing? And so what I want to do is I want to talk about this article and what it has to do and bring in Joseph Murphy and Neville, obviously. And so this person was saying, okay, I've been working on my self-concept and I was trying to get my SP back, my special person, if you're new to that phrase, right? The significant person, the other person that you want to be with, right? And so then they said, oh yeah, but this person then ended up blocking me, right? And so here's where I think this is super important. I haven't talked about this as in granular, and I'm going to do more videos on this, again, because it's my last video, the live video, this person still had a belief that they were blockable. So why is that even important? Why is that something that you need to consider? Because, and go check out my video, like I just said, on macro beliefs and micro beliefs. And so, because we don't really fundamentally realize, okay, that we are always operating, okay, we are always operating on two levels of beliefs, right? And so the levels of belief, okay, macro means what I view about life, okay? And I'm gonna go back to this article to prove the point. I'm not sure what that emoji means. And then there's the micro beliefs. Those are the beliefs that we are, that we embody, that we believe, that we accept, that we are trying to change, then whatever, right? But the macro, here's the thing, you need to realize this. The macro still influences the micro. Let me say this. Your beliefs about life still influence how you manifest. Okay? So your beliefs about how this world operates, whether it's small belief about something, big belief about something, it will modify. It will shape. Okay, somebody else had another article. Okay, and they had said, oh, well, I was OCD and I believed that I was going to get like some sort of like, heart attack or something like that. But why didn't it ever happen? Because we have to understand that there are beliefs and then there are dominant beliefs or dominant states, dominant circles of belief. Okay. And if your dominant is, I want to live long life, that person can still have that experience or have something that looks like that experience, right? And so, or have bodily pain. It may not show up in that form, but it'll show up in a form that looks like and feels like pain, right? And so you have to realize that our small beliefs, so-called small beliefs, right, are still impacting us. And the really dumb example I keep using is the person who wants to buy a house and believes that the process of escrow, which is to get the house, right, to fill out the paperwork and all this kind of stuff and do, borrowing and loans and all this kind of stuff, takes forever and is annoying. But then they actually have a strong belief as an individual, I always get what I want, or I always get the house that I want. So guess what? You're going to get the house that you want, but it's going to be a long, drawn out, annoying process. Okay, because that's what Neville means when he says a state. It is our circle of beliefs. It is not one belief, not two beliefs, not three beliefs, because a belief in and of itself never stands alone. Okay? Can somebody write that down? A belief never stands alone. One belief never stands alone, okay? And that's key, because if you are in scripture, they call it the high priest. The high priest is your dominant point, right? Thank you, Camille, right? Is the idea that there's a dominant, right? You bring your other ideas to the high priest. It even says that sometimes to do so. Right? Because you're bringing it and checking it against the dominant idea of belief. Okay, so if you believe life is unfair and that's your dominant belief, then you're bringing the belief of, I want to have a better life to the high priest. Guess what's going to happen? You're saying, individually, I want a better life, but I believe that life is unfair for everybody else, right? Or in general. You're saying, I'm now checking against this, I don't like small or big beliefs, but just for the sake of this conversation, I'm taking this, right? Yes, very good, right? Is that you are taking your individual belief and you're measuring it against your belief about life, okay? And so what you end up doing, though, is then you're actually creating a measuring rod by the dominant belief, which is life isn't fair. So then you actually start measuring against that. Then you create an identity. Then you create a person which is who you are, right? And that's who you are now. And so then you start looking at things like, and then when something good happens to you, check this out. This is loopy, but this is what humans do, right? Is then when something does good happen to you, not only will you feel good about it, you'll also feel bad about it, because your dominant belief is life is unfair. So then now life is fair to you right now individually, but your general belief is life is unfair. So then now you're measuring yourself emotionally against the dominant belief, okay? So then the dominant belief is more powerful and guides the process of your individual belief. Same with this person on Reddit, right? Where they were like, oh, I have this individual belief that SPs come to me. Hey, X, how you doing? Right? Welcome, everybody. And again, just everybody who's jumping on, this is my last live. I probably won't be doing it for a while unless I have a series, probably going through Neville's books or something like that. So definitely join the Discord. It's free. Think about joining the coaching program, because I'm going to be working on a lot of content, working on that ebook and of techniques for you guys. So if you want access to that, let me know. I'll probably mention it on one of my other recordings. So I'm going to start going back to recording again. But definitely think about joining the program soon. And you do have to apply. So, yeah. So again, Liam, that's true. And again, here's the thing, because sometimes this is what I find in Neville communities, or even just manifestation communities. They just quote Neville, right? And that's not a knock on you, by the way, Liam, because that's true. Feeling is the secret. But most people don't even know what that means. Most people just come to it, and usually out of triage, which means there's an emergency situation, right? And so, when we're talking, so again, like assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So right now, Liam, you're quoting a lot of Neville, right? And again, that's not bad, right? But I find that people just quote him. It's like quoting the Bible just to quote the Bible, or quoting the Quran, or quoting the Mishnah, or quoting the Gemara, or the Torah, right? And so that's the dangerous thing, because he says don't do things where you're just quoting. That's like the robotic affirmations, right? So, but again, back to this idea of like when you have a general belief about yourself or life, a general belief, right? Yes, yeah. Thank you, Liam. And so again, what you do though is you ultimately create a personality that sets up, right? That sets up a personality, right? So Neville says that the imagination, and by the way, a lot of where Neville gets his concepts, if you haven't noticed, is his work, Neville's work on interpreting Blake's work, right? And if you want to understand Neville even more, jump into the poet Blake, right? Super awesome. Edward Art is very, very big on him, so check out his stuff as well. Back to this idea of macro beliefs and micro beliefs, right? And so, you just have to really, really grasp that any general belief that you have, like this person on Reddit who was like, hey, I've been working on my self-concept, but, right? But, okay. If you continue not questioning your own beliefs. So Joseph Murphy says, listen, what you must do, okay? Joseph Murphy basically says that you must go to the origin, right? I listened to his lecture today, You Are All Gods, right? And he says, one of the things that you have to do is you have to go and find the origin of that story. And it might be when you're 4, it might be when you're 7, it might be when you're 12, okay? But that belief formed in you. So anything that you could recall, okay? Anything that you can recall is something that you consider valuable enough that you've formed a memory. But here's the thing, the neuroscience shows that human identity is just a bundle of repeated memories that lead to action, right? So, do you get what I'm saying? So like basically every time you recall a memory, you are reinforcing whatever that memory has told you about yourself, okay? Hence why you need to use revision. It's one of his most powerful techniques that no one has ever come across, right? And so that is ultimately what you want to do. You want to do the deep work. You want to do the deep dives, right? And that's what this channel is about. I'm not about just quoting Neville. I'm not about just quoting Murphy. I'm not about just talking about manifestation. This is about healing. This is about coming to a place where healing makes you a better manifester, right? And healing can happen overnight. It can happen within 24 hours. Like this is when Neville says, hey, you can impress the subconscious within 24 hours. It isn't just that you manifest. When you're manifesting, you are basically, it's kind of like, I don't know, do you guys remember those like old tapes or like CDs, right? And you can record over them, right? And so you could actually record over them. So the subconscious is a not a battery operated, but an energy operated recording machine. And so when Neville says to revise, he's literally telling you, and by the way, neuroscience is coming out and actually studying stuff like this. And it's called memory reconsolidation. And we're doing it every day. Every time you learn a new piece of information, your brain, and it's also called neuroplasticity, right? And it's your brain's way of learning new things, okay? So when Neville is basically saying revise, he's saying you've got to unlearn the old memory, unlearn the old story by reimplanting, by reinvigorating a new one. Okay. And so that's why you do this, because the more that you access the old memory, I don't care how hard you try. I don't care if you use crystals. I don't care if you bathe in goop. Whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. And that's not to be discouraging. It's to realize that the deep work isn't out there. It's not lighting candles. It's not buying sage. It's not joining a religion. It's not doing anything like that. It is all going inward, always. Okay? And so that's what it is, right? And people don't like that because we have this culture, especially in the West, of consumer spirituality, consumer religion, consumer food, consumer cars. Everything is, how can I consume this rather than how can I enjoy this? Do you hear the difference? Like, can't I just enjoy the healing process? Can I enjoy removing limiting beliefs? Which again, I'll say it again. Yes, you can impress the subconscious within 10 to 12 seconds. Not my words, Neville's words, okay? And so what that means is you can already have something on its way, right? Within 10 to 12 seconds. But most people don't realize that because of the way the culture is, we think everything has to be fast. We think everything can't be enjoyed when it's slow, right? All of this kind of stuff. There's even movements to actually bring that back in, and it's called the slow movement, right? It's called minimalism, all of this kind of stuff, right? And so, yes, finding satisfaction is your biggest key. Something that Joseph Murphy said today as well. And it's really powerful, by the way. And I'm going to probably do a video on this. But obviously, I'm going to bring in Neville. But it's basically like, can you sit in satisfaction? Can you sit in joy? Can you sit in expectation? Then that's the Sabbath. Most people think that the Sabbath is this ethereal, mysterious, I've got to wait for it to come. And Joseph Murphy seems to go the other way. He's like, you can create the feelings of being in the Sabbath. You can literally modify what it means to be in the Sabbath. By simply believing that something is on the way, you're in the Sabbath. By holding on to that belief, you're holding on to the Sabbath. Right? Yes, that's very, very good, Liam. That's very, very good point. If you can work on getting in the flow, and I'm going to do some videos on the flow because I know the neuroscience behind it, and I want to give you guys gold on that one. But I'm also going to create packets of information within the Discord. We're probably going to do some more workshops in the Discord. We're going to do weekly ones in a Discord, and we're probably going to go through that as well, right? And those are only like $50, and you get a cool little workbook afterwards and all this kind of stuff. But definitely consider joining all that. Like I said, this is my last live event for a while. But, you know, let's see. Sitting in satisfaction, joy, you must like that feeling. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, sorry. It just, the light on my phone just went off. Okay. So, all right. So again, you do. Here's the thing. This is all about feeling. This is why I'm very different than many coaches, because I'm telling people you need to actually practice these feelings. Other people are like, no, it just needs to come naturally. If you've never felt it, yes, you probably felt satisfaction, but if it's hard to recall it, then teach yourself, right? Train yourself, you know, and there's actually proof, and I keep quoting him because he's probably I'm closer to him, but I just like Neville way more to Joe Dispenza because I'm using neuroscience, right? Is that you have to practice the feeling every day. Hello, 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 right? Hi, music. So again, I just want to encourage you, right, to realize it's okay to practice emotions. It's okay to not feel it when it first happens. Neville says, this is one of his most important things I don't find many people talking about in Neville circles. He says, though false. Okay, though false, you persist. Okay, though false. Let me say it a billion more times because that means it's not going to feel real. It's not going to feel real. It's not going to feel real at first. What does that mean? You've got to feel it. You've got to actually control and guide and mold and shape the feeling, okay? It's actually going to be something that you are maybe even wanting to gaslight yourself on, okay? That's really what the though false is. You're going to feel like an imposter. That's yet another way of saying it, right? You're going to feel like you're lying to yourself. You're going to feel like this is not true. You're going to feel like that, like whatever you know is way more truer than what you deserve, right? And so though false, that means there's two narratives, one that's true and one that isn't. Okay, and you got to decide which one it is. Hence why yesterday, when I was breaking down a little bit of Neville's quote, which is now on my Reddit, right? Which is Neville says don't have hind claws. And this is the same with beliefs. Not just, hey, I believe I'm rich, but that means every single iota and micro belief that's along the way that we've been talking about today is ultimately, hello, right? Thank you, is basically something that you have to get to the root of, right? And no, this is not something that you should fear. No, this is not something that you should be exhausted about, right? Just take one belief a day and begin chipping away at it, right? That's all you do. And then, so what you're doing is you're modifying your mind to look at life as a, hey, this is belief modification. This is belief therapy, right? All of this kind of stuff. And yes, you could have days where you just rest. Why? Because that's Sabbath. That's what really Sabbath is. It's just rest. It's mental rest, okay? Right? And so, yeah, practice the emotion until you call upon it. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. So this is something, and again, I'm going to do a whole load of videos on this, and this may bring me back into a series where I do a series like this, where you guys get to join and all this kind of stuff, but about how to go through every emotion, every single emotion, right? And how to create one, how to uncreate one, right? Because again, today's about belief, right? Today's about the circle of beliefs that we accept, but those are fueled by emotions. Those emotions originate in memory, okay? And the memory actually reinforces the emotion. This is what is called the self-concept. This is why, for example, that person struggled on Reddit, okay? Because there are 3 components to your self-concept. I'm going to be doing a workshop on this, how to make one, how to break one, how to keep it, okay? So make sure that you join the Discord, because again, I'm not going live for a while, all right? Or go check out my video on self-concept where I break it down, all right? And definitely feel, that you can still ask me questions. There's an email in my bio. There's the link to the Discord. If it's not working, email me and I'll get you the Discord. If you're interested in the coaching programs, check me out. I do offer payment programs, which is, again, something that not all coaches do, because I want to make this affordable to you guys. And I believe in what I do, and I believe in your capability of using the law. So back to this, and then I've got to go. And thank you for all the kind words, right? When you are trying to modify beliefs, right? And by the way, life is about purpose. Life is about satisfaction. Life is about joy. That's really what this is. Live in joy every day for 30 days. This is your challenge, right? And I guarantee you things will already start changing. I know somebody, a fellow coach of mine, shared with me a story of how he wanted a truck, and he had been wanting a truck for a little bit. And he had created the scenes and stuff. And then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to sit and enjoy one day. I'm just going to test this out. Just sit and enjoy. That's it. And he did. 24 hours later, actually, I think it was less than that. 12 hours later, somebody gave him a truck, right? So it's not hard, and it is hard, right? It's something that we combine. It's a paradox. Okay, it's a paradox because there's a time gap here. And so everything looks paradoxical, but there's no time gap here. So you're always giving yourself whatever it is that you want, right? And yeah, basically that's my challenge, right? Whatever is fun for you, whatever is joy, whatever excites you, and by the way, it has to be a deep excitement. It can't be an excitement that your mom wants you to do, right? This has to be a deep excitement for you. You have to mold that, because people will come back and nothing happened. Yeah, and if you know me, there's what's called the unblemished lamb. And that means that's a Hebrew metaphor for your desire has to be your own. Right? If it has blemishes, it's somebody else. It's society's. It's society's social pressure that you have to be married because you're a female of a certain age and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Whatever it is, okay? And so that is what this is about. It's getting to the root of, and yes, by the way, let me do something. This is not going to be a popular belief. There may be days where you're going to feel like you have to force yourself to feel joy, right? And it's going to feel that way. Remember, though false. That's what it means. You can take that phrase everywhere you go and anywhere you want in terms of meaning, right? But what's going to happen is one day it's not going to feel forced. One day it's not going to feel like something you should fear. One day it's going to feel natural. And that is what the Sabbath is. But you don't go, everybody. Sorry again. Sorry. Okay, so I have about 5 more minutes. So again, apologies for that. And I will go back through and clean all these videos up because I know people were bringing me notes, and thank you for that. But again, it's just because I'm getting busy with the coaching. that I need to take time to do all this stuff. So again, when we talk about beliefs, the circle of beliefs are the ones that you accept as true, and they can be small beliefs. This here, right? Yeah, no, it's great. And I do plan to do lives like once a week, by the way. So I do plan to do that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for staying on. Apology for all the tech stuff. That's going to change, especially when I do lives. So other than obviously being busy with, new clients and all this kind of stuff, and creating new content for you guys and creating new videos and so on and so forth, and creating new content for you guys, it's just also getting all the tech correct and all this kind of stuff so I can create more quality videos for you guys. Because doing it in the car is great, but, it gets really hot and all this kind of stuff. So, and I want this to be quality for you all. So again, consider joining the coaching program. There is a Discord link in my bio. It does, for some reason, time out. So if it does, there's an email me and make sure you get in touch. But really what I want for you all in all of these events, one is obviously to see how I coach, but then two, to really believe in yourselves, to really know that this is something you can use, that you can have the life of your dreams, that you can be who you want to be, that you can use the law to get anything that you want. There is no such thing that is impossible. And I honestly, heartfelt believe that, you can change your birth, you can do all of those kinds of things, and people will think I'm crazy for saying that, but I take that quote literally that says with imagination, all things are possible. So, have fun for 30 days. Come back, leave messages on this one. Let me know what you were able to manifest, right? And if you're ever struggling, if you ever need help, you ever need a listening ear, join the coaching program, join the Discord. It's super supportive, and it's all backed by science. So much love to you all. Be safe in the world. Thank you for being so supportive. And, yeah, exactly. Yes, very, very well said. Yeah, if you don't like the table, turn it over. That's really what the metaphor is, right? So yeah, very, very good, X. Thank you for being here. And hopefully I will see you guys on my videos. And be looking out, because I will be doing lives again. I'm just trying to figure out, I want a little bit more order with these. So, and if you guys have ideas, then join the Discord, let me know. And again, remember, the Discord's free. Or leave comments here and say, hey, could you do a series on reading through Feeling is the Secret? Or hey, could you do a series on whatever that is? I take what you say seriously. Ask anybody else. So because I can't do this without you guys. So right, so I appreciate you and your support. Much love to you all. And yeah, talk to you soon. Manifest well.